Good evening and welcome to Ubuntu channel. My name is Chaza right here on the program called My Point of View. I must believe that you're having a pretty lovely weekend. It's good to actually have you right here on the program. With me to do the program or to actually attend to the issues and react to the issues that we have, I have Mr. Mukelebai right here. Mr. Mukelebai, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can get you, sir.
Yes, it's a good evening. How are you? How is everyone?
Everyone is okay and everything pretty fine. How's everyone out there?
No, we are just from celebrating our independence gathering. Us who are in the diaspora in this town, we were supposed to celebrate last week. Unfortunately, we didn't have, we were committed with other, so all the Zambians that lives in the diaspora, in the country where I live, came together today. So that was amazing. So we're just from eating Zambian food.
Beautiful. I can only imagine that, it must be a nice time out there, celebrating independence in that manner.
It was amazing.
Beautiful. Without much ado, let's get to the program and take a look at the first story that we do have right here. Then we get to meet you on the other side for reactions.
Earlier this month, Minister of Green Economy and Environment Collins Nzovu announced that the country is likely to experience erratic and uneven rainfall pattern, with periods of prolonged dry spells and periods of heavy rains. This may mean catastrophe for the agriculture sector, which is the only economic activity for most Zambians. Forum for Democracy and Development FDD leader Edith Nawakwi says President Hakainde Hichilema must involve traditional leaders in the forthcoming farming season if the country is to avert extreme hunger situation in the coming years.
To be able to reverse this catastrophe, Hakainde Hichilema needs to get down to the basics. Get the chiefs, get the village headmen to be involved in the agriculture season 2023-2024 if we are going to avert extreme hunger. And I say this because what they have done is that they've said, oh, we are going to support 1 million farmers with FISIP packets. But what is it? You give someone a meda. Can he himself feed his family with a meda? No, he can't. A meda of fertilizer. It's not possible.
Ms. Nawakwi also laments that Zambia needs a biblical Joseph to foresee what lies ahead, unlike President Hakainde Hichilema, who exported all the maize he found in reserves simply because it was purchased by the Patriotic Front.
I don't know if they have appointments with God so that they were told that next year is going to rain, next year going. It's an act of naivety. Maize reserves, if in fact you went to South America or the Americas, maize is stored for close to 10 years in silos. Every year you have to keep a certain minimum storage reserve. But here, we get someone given the authority to govern us and empties our silos and doesn't replenish them. For me, that's a grave failure. That's a glaring failure. And this one failure is what has caused misery in homes.
Ms. Nawakwi also spoke about the government's decision to involve the Zambia National Service in mealie meal trading.
Instead of ZNS doing the work which we gave them by the Act, they are now busy trading in mealie meal, which is very, very unfortunate. It's a mark of failure on this government. And you see, when you talk about the defense and security, yes, they're supposed to keep strategic reserves, but they're not supposed to go and be the principal players in the market.
Vincent Piri for Community TV.
claims that the government decided to offload the maize that was kept in stock just because it was kept by the PF. I really don't know the veracity of that statement. Anyway, there are a couple of things that have come out from what she was talking about. Let me invite you, Mr. Mkilabai, to give us your reactions.
Chaza, I don't know if it's me or it's you. Your volume is really low. I'm unable to hear you, and you started commenting before the clip was finished. But anyway, I don't know. I will simply respond by saying that there has never been anything positive that came through Edith Nawakwe about this current government or about the current president from Nawakwe. Nawakwe from the onset has been negative, has been blaming the current government, the current president, even when he was in opposition. We know the history. We know where we have come from. We are not new. There will be nothing that will come out of Nawakwe that is going to be positive that this government will ever do, or that she will appreciate and compliment. Nawakwe, she is a bitter soul, and I have no idea for what reasons. She knows what she went through between herself and Hakainde Hichilema, Katwishinga Nku University Valley, what they did together. I have no idea where this bitterness comes from, because I've never seen such a person that will hold a grudge against someone for this long. And she has been praying to herself about the failure, and she even at one point laughed that this current president will never be president of the Republic of Zambia. So I know that there's nothing positive. Even herself, when she's busy talking about these issues, she's not offering any solutions. But she's a Zambian. And this is a senior political Zambian, senior politician that has been on the blog for a long time. She is supposed to have graduated from this politics of pettiness politics, or politics of just to politicize everything, instead of offering proper checks and balance, or rather giving solutions. If at all she thinks that Hakainde Hichilema is not doing anything to mitigate the challenges that are currently being faced. So I have no idea why she continues attacking this current government. However, these challenges that the current government is facing right now, the Zambian people are facing, never started today. These challenges have been there. We know where we came from. We know this country has passed through. So we have to understand that part to say, my apologies, there's someone who's trying to call me. We have to understand the fact that this current government is really trying by all means to fix these challenges that they inherited, and it's not going to be easy. They are putting all these programs in place to mitigate the issues to do with inputs, so that we can have enough maize crop next season. So they are trying by all means to fix all these challenges that we've had, that the previous government left behind. We have to remember, Zambians, that we are in this middle of a huge debt mountain that has been on hold. Not that it has been forgiven, but this debt has been put on hold, meaning it is still waiting for us. Whether today, tomorrow, this debt we are going to face it. And today, with the mountain of the debt that the previous government left, we are unable to do or to perform certain obligations. The government is failing to fulfill certain obligations because they are strained. And that is why they are working so tirelessly to make sure that whatever little money that is going to be to remain behind or to have or to raise, it is put to grow our economy and to make Zambian people go back and cultivate. We are going to have a good harvest. Of course, sometimes we can be faced with natural disasters. We can be faced with drought. But what does that mean? Does the government have control over these issues? An act of God? No. So why are we trying to put a blame on the person, an individual, when we as a country should find solution together, collectively, opposition and those in power? We should have a national endeavor where we can sit down together and find common grounds of developing this country. Unlike where we want to point fingers at this, and we are celebrating when we are facing, or when people are starving, or when people are buying things at a high price, we are celebrating and we are busy laughing at the person who inherited the challenges. That's not being mature. So to me, that clip from Edith Nawakwi, I think Edith Nawakwi, she's not patriotic enough. As a woman, senior politician, we expect her to put the politics, the differences she has with Hakainde Hichilema aside, and come up with the policies and come up with the solutions. What is the best solution? The government is trying to use ZNS instead of just sitting and paying them a lot of money where they're just sitting. Someone is coming into government, ZNS or Zambia Army, being employed for years, 24, 40 years, he retires without even picking up a gun to go and fight in any other country or protecting. So why don't we put our government institutions into use, good use? Producing meal is not an abuse. This is one way of using an initiative where we take advantage of the resources, the human resource that we have, the institutions that we have to better lives of people. So it is not a bad idea for the government, for ZNS to venture into producing meal. We have to be happy. We have to even support the government. Lungu, the previous regime, when there was Corel, who did he use to go and start digging or to go and remove trash in the street? Didn't he use the Zambia Army? Didn't he use the Zambia Army and the Zambia Air Force officers that were busy cleaning the street? Is that their duty? So Edith Nawakwi should be honest and should be able to understand that certain things, there are certain measures that you need to take. Not if you're in politics. She's a bitter woman. She just needs to change her way of life. Anyway, it's not about her. Let's talk about Zambia and the people. Natote.
All right, Mr. Mukelewa, thank you so much. We do appreciate, and your opinion greatly matters right here. And just in case you'd like to comment on the stories that we are presenting to you tonight, you can get to do so by leaving us a comment right in the comment section, or clicking on the link, then you join us right here on set. Let's proceed and take a look at the next item.
Zambia is one of the African countries that has a footprint of exporting its materials in raw form since time immemorial. This, like other African countries, has been identified as one of the major causes of the slow economic growth of African economies. It is for this reason that President Hakainde Hichilema, who hosted an Norwegian African Business Association, wants investments to fit into government's agenda of value addition.
We will not be keen to support a business that is purely following the traditional 300, 400, 500 years of using Africa or seeing Africa as a source of raw materials on. Come and invest here, process in the host country where the resource endowment is located, and you'll have our full support. Full Sekona, the point I made on Yara, once you do that, in the procurement, value chain procurement chain, we will buy from those that are engaging in value addition.
The association chief executive officer led a delegation of various companies eyeing opportunities in different economic sectors.
We have been inspired by Your Excellency and your government's commitment to reform and to positioning Zambia as a key destination for foreign investments on the continent.
The president also met with Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director General, Dr. Jean Kaseya, where he stressed the need for the continent to be proactive in planning ahead for any public health challenge that may arise.
COVID-19 demonstrated to us that a pandemic like that can dislocate everything. We noted that in certain parts of the world, they were able to get the vaccines going quickly, but we could not access the vaccines. And I think it underscores the importance of us finding solutions, homegrown solutions, Africa-grown solutions, of course, not in isolation with others.
And Dr. Kaseya commended Zambia for implementing measures to save lives and protect people from health threats.
Zambia is one of the 5 countries, the first 5 countries to get funding from Pandemic Fund. And you can imagine, Excellency, there were 52 proposals from Africa. Under your leadership, we were so surprised to see the strong proposal coming from Zambia, well articulated, showing how Zambia is bringing all sectors together to respond for the next pandemic, to the next pandemic. I think it was a big surprise for the world, but it was not a surprise for me.
He also announced that the country will in November host the International Conference on Public Health in Africa, whose theme is Breaking Barriers, Repositioning Africa into the Global Health Architecture. Ruth Chainda, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
There we have it. It's definitely a good thing, to embark on a value addition. And it sounds so good. And the president is so consistent, as regards value addition. We are looking forward to see, the practicality of it. And definitely the benefits will be seen. Mr. Mkelebai, your reaction as regards this, story that we are from taking a view.
I'm afraid I need to pass on this one because I had a technical problem. I didn't really get the whole gist of the documentary. My apologies for that. Otherwise, I missed out. My problem, there was a problem with volume on my gadget.
Okay, do you suggest that we replay it for your sake, considering that you are the only person that is, on the analysis desk?
Yeah, we can move on to the next one and play that one last.
Okay, Director, as requested by, Mr. Mkelebai, we can take a look at the next item. Then we'll probably get to repeat this one later on the program.
My apologies for that.
No, it is well noted. And as probably we are waiting for, the director to take
in general, you are the one who was listening. You paid attention. What was the clip about?
The clip was basically on a meeting that was held by the president. He was one of the people that were looking at development specifically in Africa. And the president was submitting that in our country, we have a lot of resources, and he's inviting investors to actually get to add value to, whatever we are producing. Take, for instance, the minerals that we do have, instead of exporting raw materials, is inviting, companies, investors to actually come in Zambia and invest so that we can have, products that are of, value addition.
Okay. No, it's a very clear-cut story, and I think this is what the government has been preaching about. Bringing investors and create jobs within our country, not exporting. Because when we export minerals in raw materials, or anything that we produce in raw material, we are actually exporting employment. We are exporting job creation. We are exporting a lot of things. We are denying our people opportunities to access or to have better lives or to even have jobs. So I think the president is perfectly right, and we need to just rally behind this initiative where investors are advised to produce their products into final products, not raw materials, and sell them, or rather export whilst they are finished product, not where we sell unfinished products. So I feel like it's a very good initiative. It's a very good call for the government to actually talk to investors to utilize this opportunity so that we can have industrials that produces things that we export, end products, not raw materials. So I believe that is a wonderful thing, and we should give kudos and thumbs up to the government. Thank you.
And I was actually indicating that this has been, the call from the president, I think from onset, which is a very good idea. And I was also indicating that we are looking forward to see the practicality of it, because it's one thing, to actually invite, and another thing to see this coming into fruition. Because if this happened, I think our country will definitely be on a different level.
Absolutely. You are right, my brother. This is where all the embassies in all these other countries, where the Zambian embassies, they should not just sit in those nice offices and have air cons. This is their job. They need to sell Zambia, and they need to find not briefcase investors, real proper investors that have the capacity, that can come to Zambia and explore it and get the raw materials within Zambia and produce them within Zambia and put to the end product within Zambia and sell. For example, the battery production. We used to have batteries in Zambia. Remember that? We used to produce batteries in Zambia. We used to produce radios. We used to produce bicycles. We used to produce Bitenge materials in Zambia, fertilizer, name them. Today, we are dependent on importing every little things, including toothpicks. That to us, then we are being a lazy society. So this is where the people that are out there in other countries, that those ambassadors and those representing Zambia, they should go flat out and hunt for proper and real investors that can come and bring development in our country. So even them, they will have something at the end of the day. To be a 50-50 with a win-win situation where the investors and us, the Zambians, we are getting something at the end of the day. But also, we need to look at our local investors as well. We should encourage our Zambians to be able to take charge and produce things in Zambia and try to compete to the market level, to the international standards, where we can also compete equitably with others. Otherwise, we have so much potential. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mukelabai. We definitely appreciate your viewpoint. Those of you that are just joining us, Remember, this is Ubuntu channel, and we are giving you the program called My Point of View. And this is a program that is designed to give you the stories and headlines of the week. And you are free to join us and make your opinions known as regards the stories that we do have. Let's proceed and take a look at the next story that we have.
Allow. Whether you like it or not, I will not allow. Just like I will not allow the Patriotic Front to die, I will also not allow factions within the party. I will also not allow opportunistic individuals to destroy the party. Hear this. Therefore, after and deep reflection and right consultation, including prayer, following negative by those in power to annihilate the biggest opposition party, PF, in Zambia today, the PF, using their stooges and institutions of governance, I have decided to return to active.
Wait for his lawyers to arrive.
Politics are very interesting. There we have it. We have, the former president there, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, announcing, his comeback, into politics. What could be the repercussions, of that, and what are the pros and cons as regards, his constitutional right to so do? Mr. Mkelebai.
Well, thank you so much, Chaza. We saw this, some of us, we saw him coming back. We've heard him insinuating, and we knew that he's been running up and down thinking he's popular. We knew that all those running, the joggings, all those to my church gatherings was one way of mobilizing himself together with we knew that was his way of trying to get back, gain some kind of momentum so that he can get back into politics. Well, he is very welcome. He's a Zambian. We welcome him. This is what he should have done. He ought to have done a long time ago. In the first place, why did he leave? That's the question you need to ask. Why did you run away, abandon the ship? And now that it is now reached on the bottom of the sea, that's when you want to claim to be the champion or to be victorious and to go back and bring that boat back onto the shore. I'm sorry to say his timing is very, very misplaced. It's the people who advised him. That's why I told the Zambian people, I've been telling the Zambian people so many times to say, the people that surround this gentleman hate him. They would love to see him humiliated again. They would love to see him going through a lot of atrocities, a lot of tribulations, because he will be treated as such. This time around, there was an injunctious type of treatment where the prosecutors or the police cannot go and apprehend him or arrest him because of the immunity that he possessed, and they were trying to accord him that respect of being the former head of state that is no longer involved in politics, that has done his duty, he has done his power, his time. Now he's going into retirement. It will be just a person where people would go and get some kind of advice and counsel on how to run, and let others that have also been on the political scene to take over. We've had so many people that expressed to take over. That's why we are telling the Zambian people that those 200,000 kwachas paid by almost 10 presidential aspiring, that was just a sham. That was just a trick. We knew that all along. Lungu has been in the picture all along. That's why his name still appeared onto the papers at the Registrar of Associations. We know that. I don't even know why this current government has been treating Lungu with baby's gloves when he has been serving. He has been active. He has been in active politics from the word go. But they were trying to cut some slack on him to say, look, he's retired. We don't want to see as though we are persecuting him. Again, Miles Sampa has come back, has brought his enemy, because Lungu and Miles Sampa, they actually never saw each other live. They were not good friends from the word go. This is where it all came from. This is where it started. There's no interference. There's no one who is interfering like UPND is interfered in this. No, it is all about Miles Sampa not being wanted. Unfortunately, he is elected as the president of the party. And Lungu has to also come up with a convention. He has to come. In what capacity? When is he coming to join? In what capacity is he coming to join? If he is rejoining, is he going to take over as president? Because his name, shows that his name is retired. He's a retired president. So if he comes back, in what capacity? Is he going to be the president, or is going to be elected? Because they need to elect him as the president, because there has been a gap. That's why Luvinda was acting. So what does this mean? All those appointments and disappointment Luvinda made during his acting period are null and void if we are to use their narrative that Lungu is eligible to be back as the party president. Unfortunately, Mr. Lungu is going to face also some legal battle. By the time he finishes his legal battle, he's already 80 years old. Unfortunately, by PF, you cannot see the foresight. You don't have the foresight. They are looking at this current. This is a president that lost, that made your party lose. And he's coming back and you're celebrating for the person that actually lost, that destroyed your party. Today, the party is in shambles because of Lungu, not Miles Sampa. What will happen? Should Lungu also be told to pay 200 PIN to be a candidate? If that's what their constitution says, let him also pay, because he's now an aspiring, he's new. It's not that he is coming back from retirement. He's coming back. He just went somewhere and came back. No. So his comeback is welcome to be back in politics. Nobody can stop him. But now this is going to give an opportunity for this current government that is fighting for corruption to simply come straight to him, because he's the reason why we are in this mess in the first place. All these atrocities, all these sufferings, all this increment of prices, they are coming as a result of his reckless borrowing, spending, and pilferage, stealing of the government resources. So all these cases, they will come back. And definitely remember this: the issue of immunity is now going to be back and be on the table. definitely Lungu's immunity will be lifted, will be taken off, stripped off. And when that is done, Mr. Lungu will spend years going to court to answer questions, just like his ministers, Bene Kampiongo, Bene Chitotela, all those guys who are faced with criminal or failing to account for properties or monies or their wealth, they will face these criminal charges. He will face the criminal charges. There will be no special treatment. Now that he's back, forget about the special treatment as the father of the nation, purported to be father of the nation, or the head of, or the whatever, the previous former head of state. No, he will be treated as such. He's a politician and he needs to be treated as one. So the issue of immunity will be history, and he will face criminal allegations or charges just like any other. They should not expect any special treatment. And coming to his benefits, probably the government may even, right now, as soon as he has announced, right now, probably even the security details may have been withdrawn. They've put maybe probably a stop order on the benefits that he has been. They were even planning probably to build him a house. Probably they'll put a stop order. I don't know, because he's back in politics. So there will be a lot of things that this president is losing out for him, for that, just this decision of Mao Sampa. Because I know the reason why Lungu is back. He thinks his party is under attack, but he's forgetting that it is him, together with the people that he had left, who have destroyed their own political party, and they want to put a finger or point a finger at the current government that is the one that is trying to destroy them. UPND has nothing to worry about. The confusion has nothing to do with the confusion taking place in the in PF. PF created these problems on their own. It's their own sins that are haunting them. The government, the current government, is just a spectator and watching and how the self-destruction of the party is happening. So we are here to see, we shall see. We shall cross the bridge when we get there. Welcome back, Mr. Lungu. But now the game has just begun. Thank you for making or for fooling the Zambian people that you were in retirement, when we knew that all along, some of us, we knew that all along, all these to my appointments, all these to my things, you are the person they've been coming to advise. That's why they were failing to come up with a clear roadmap on whether Lungu is coming back or is staying. Remember, the HH has been talking of Alewele Lapo, Akeka Lakwisa. Unfortunately, his statement is right. And remember, Imin Galato, watch the pace. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Mukelewa, thank you so much. And this is really getting interesting because I saw some election. I don't know if that was a convention or what kind of a meeting where, Sampa was actually, voted as president. And Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu has also, returned into active politics, and purportedly he's the party president. So I can see, some pockets of, confusion that is ensuing in this party. Looking forward to see how things get to unfold, really.
There's a letter, my brother, from the to the government, and it's in black and white, where Lungu expressly resigned, stopped to be active in politics. Just that letter, that is the letter that is going to put him in a fix. Even if he decides to come back, in what capacity? As a president or as a member of the PF? If he wants to become the president, he has to earn the presidentship, just like any other person. So Mayo
I do
Sampa,
remember that
he
there
is
was
the
a clip
president right now.
where Mrs. Mumbipiri was actually saying, go and withdraw that letter and return, back into politics.
She was right. She was right. She was right. He had advice. He had some advice from Mumbipiri. So if he wants to withdraw, let him withdraw. He has already withdrawn. So what will happen now? The period that he retired, that won't be considered. If he comes back, he is not going to be the president of the party. I don't think so. They have to either go back to the convention as well and re-elect him because he terminated his contract. That's the simple law of contract. When you terminate the contract, he did not suspend temporarily, according to them. No, legitimately, he terminated the contract by resigning. When you resign, it's a termination. So he terminated his contract with PF and even he said he retired from active politics. And he started receiving money, 80% of the current president's salary. Lungu has been getting that. How many years? For 2 years, my brother. So if we discover, if they go to court and he goes and argue to say he has been the president all along since 2001, then the government will go in and say, hey, we have been paying you. We want our money back. We've been paying you illegally. Because you are not supposed to be given these entitlements. So we want you to bring back whatever we paid you. What is he going to do? Of course, he has the money that he stole from the Zambian people. He will try to use the same money that he stole. But we still have more cases against him. He has to go to court and prove himself not guilty. We will charge him. He can't be a sacrificial. He can't be given a special treatment just because then we prosecute ama ministers wakwe. Abena lusambo bali losing ama properties. Elo eno boss wabo ekalifie. Ati yo because inwa president. Yo. Abakashi wakwe there. She's busy going to prison. Yo. Let him also face the same wrath of the law. Whether former president or not. I'm glad he's back in politics. So now the prosecutors and the prosecutors and the lawyers and whoever has any case against Lungu, this is the time to come. If American can do it to their former president, Donald Trump, who are we not to put Lungu on trial? How special is Lungu? No, Lungu has to face also the wrath of the law. If he did not steal, then let the court exonerate him from that. But if he stole and he put us in this mess, then he has to face the consequences. He has to be punished. Because this is jokes. You steal to destroy the country, then you come back and say, oh, now we're in politics. We.
All right, Mr. Mkelebai, I think we need to put an end, to the reactions as regards this particular one. But I cannot agree more with you, because you have put it right, and we are looking forward because there are so many issues that are arising from this decision. And according to him, he says he has widely consulted. We are yet to see, the nature of consultation that he has done, and the repercussion.
Which president did Makebi Zulu advise? Which president, which former president has Makebi Zulu represented? Mulei pusha. Our lawyers have, but if I feel peer, yeah, they will coerce you in doing certain things that you are not. You see, let's cross the bridge when we get there.
Mr. Mkelebai, I think due to time, let's accommodate one more story. Then we get to summarize on the other side. Let's take a look at the next one, and we see you on the other side. Thank you so much, Mr. Mkelebai.
Yes.
That video caption which is being circulated is actually a doctored video caption. Quite to the contrary, what I was saying that time was that if the PF were that easy to be manipulated by a ruling party, then I was one of the people that was involved, in which I was buttressing a point that we, as UPND in the opposition then, we were not susceptible and available to being manipulated by a ruling party because we were strong. That is the point that I was making, and not admitting that we were involved in manipulating events in the Patriotic Front Party.
Slight continuation of the story that we are from looking at, because that one was some clarification coming from Mwetwa, indicating that there's no confusion that is being orchestrated by the UPND, because there are claims that whatever confusion is erupting in the PF is being orchestrated by the UPND. And that was, clarification from, Mwetwa there. Mr. Mkilawa, maybe let me invite you to react to that one particularly.
Oh, the honorable is right. The PF will try by all means to find someone to blame. They will try by all means to put a blame on anybody but themselves. They are not accepting, they are not agreeing to the fact that most of these problems that they have today, these challenges, the inner party fightings that they have, are caused by themselves. They want to push this narrative to say there's someone who is behind all this, some external forces from outside. But they are forgetting that this issue has been in their party from its inception. It is only Michael Chilufya-Sata, may his soul rest in peace, that managed to put his people in order. He knew how to handle them. Lungu cannot, I promise you, Mr. Lungu, Edgar Chagwa Lungu cannot. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, in anything, if anything, is the one that actually divided, that brought division within PF. There has been a lot of problems in PF ever since President Edgar Chagwa Lungu took over. And these problems have been on. They started from the time, just from the beginning, when Lungu was being elected. You know how Lungu came into office as a party president, eventually the country president. You know, all of you Zambians, you know, but Tamulefo Kumfwe Chinka. Lungu was imposed onto the people of the PF. He was imposed. That's why you found that some of their fellow politicians left the party because of the incompetence of Lungu, the destroying of the party because of Lungu. They lost even an election because of Lungu. It's his management. And this is a chap that you guys are clapping for, wanting to bring back. And when these problems, you see, who forced Lungu to come back? Are we going to say Mukomfa penalty Lungu was forced to come in by some external forces? Someone from the opposition sponsored him to come back. You see, we will see, because that's the narrative they are pushing every time. They create it's the decisions they make themselves that is causing the confusion they currently have. This Miles Sampa saga started a long time in 2014 or 15, somewhere there. It was Mao Sampa versus Lungu. And there was Guy Scott in the picture at that time. There were a lot of people that were, you know the history, Mwebantu. If Tutu Ngulube was alive today, you would hear from him as well saying, because he was the returning officer who declared Lungu as president, who was just a finger pointed to say you handpicked by the few people that raised hands. They have never been democratic, these guys, in their running of their party, and they should not blame any other person but themselves. But you will never hear them coming out to say it is our doing. Even the loss of the general election, they will always blame UPND. That is the one that made them lose. Yes, everything is UPND.
On that aspect, it's actually true. They made them to lose because they are the ones that won.
Yeah, but everything, the reason, even their failures, they will talk about their weaknesses in the party. They will always look at UPND as the causer. Their confusion that is in the party. It is now the question we should ask ourselves, Bane. What about even a GBM who wants to be president? Now that Lungu is coming back, Bene Chimbakambwili, umine wa Shush, the Chimbakambwili, ask him. He even vowed, I will never come back to PF if Lungu was to. Now Lungu is returning, and I see Lungu, CK is standing besides Lungu. What does that make him? So you can tell that all these guys, they want to be in power. They are presidential aspiring candidates. Will Lungu survive within their party? Will Lungu survive within the PF? Because let's not bring him to the country, to the whole nation, but let's just put him, constrict him to the political party. Will he survive within his political party? I don't think so.
I had a reaction by some civic leader who was saying probably because of the way the PF has been I would say maligned or anything like that. Maybe he may not survive if he gets back to PF. Maybe he should formulate another political party. What do you make of that idea or suggestion or viewpoint?
Well, probably he may, if he comes up with his own brand.
Mm-hmm.
But what you have to understand is that I know in Zambia we are a country that sometimes recycle these politicians and start glorifying them.
Mm-hmm.
We start glorifying them even when we know that they are actually rotten politicians. They are a liability, and we want to start glorifying them. It is wrong. It is wrong for the Zambian people. But if he wants to come back and form his political party, maybe he should come up with his own brand. Maybe he may stand a chance. But we know odd habits. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let him, if he comes back and using the ticket of PF, it will be he has a problem already, because PF has been dented already and the scars are just too deep. So for him to come back and wound and heal the wounds, Balaveko, it will never happen. We would rather, if Hakainde Hichilema retires in 2031, I think UPND will continue, because we may have someone else within the party, not people going back to PF. I don't think PF will, nobody wants to come back to PF after what they went through. Pape nechile baleta but pape ne bamwena takabunga kakwela thinking balasanga poka momentum fuel na inina, because thinking balasanga poka babepele fear, because these issues, they happen, it's worldwide, especially fuel prices, but it is going to come to an end and will come back to normal prices. Nama salaries abantu balapoka, they will start getting more better salaries. Increments will be given to people so they can mitigate or afford to live in this standard of life that people are claiming it's an expensive economy. But we are fixing, the current government is fixing those problems, and we shall be happy again, smiling. What abracadabra magic will Lungu bring when he left a mountain of debts that we are struggling? 2 years in government, we are struggling we haven't even started paying those debts. Akamuntu atiyo na wekela. Isa, we'll make you pay.
All right, Mr. Mkelewa, thank you so much. We sincerely, appreciate your viewpoints there. This is my point of view on our Ubuntu channel, and people out there that are following via Facebook, including Namwinga Precious Simwanza, we greatly appreciate, and many others out there. This has been your program that comes your way every Saturday at 8 p.m. My point of view. Your host, my name is Chaza right here. Till next time, God bless you all.